Why do we go through so much effort? Meanwhile, we're with men who don't even have matching socks, right? But we go through all this effort.
This is the plaintiff, Latoya Reno. She says she hired the defendants to make a prototype of a revolutionary head wrap product to protect styled hair overnight. It came out perfectly, and when she hired the defendants to mass produce the head wraps, she made a huge mistake and ruined all the very expensive fabric she gave them. The defendants refused to refund her the money she owed in wasted fabric and lace, and she's here suing them for the $2,518.59 she's owed. These are the defendants, Leah and Gabriel. Leah says they cut all the fabric the plaintiff gave them precisely to the patterned instructions, which they followed to a T. The irrational woman freaked out when she saw the cut fabric. They offered to split the cost, even though they did nothing wrong, but the plaintiff stomped up and down, insisting they give her a full refund. And now here they are. They're accused of not making the cut. The defendants have filed a countersuit for $2,000 for slander and unpaid labor costs.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome in.
All right, Ms. Reno.
Yes.
You have developed a revolutionary head wrap to protect styled hair overnight.
Yes, ma'am.
You've even patented it.
Yes, I did.
Tell me about it. What makes it so special?
Well, it's the first of its kind. I found myself in a predicament 4 years ago, needing to actually go to sleep and protect my hair. And I know the methods in which that you can do so, and they're traditional and they haven't changed, and they don't work, So I didn't want bedhead anymore. And in the middle of the night, it's an epiphany that came to me, and it worked. And next morning I woke up and made it my mission to develop the perfect product and bring it to market.
And does it have to do with the fabric that you use, or the?
Yes. So the way that it's made is revolutionary. It has two sleeves that allow the consumer to hold up to 26 inches of hair perfectly, effortlessly.
So it wraps the hair from the bottom all the way up, or how does it work?
So you put your arms through it, and you then open it up through the opening, and then you kind of just consume your hair and crochet it through the sleeves. And the sleeves are lined with satin, and the outside is decorated with lace. And so after you've then pulled your hair through the sleeves, you crisscross it, and a cute little bow in the back is what attaches it and allows it to just stay on your head comfortably like a cocoon.
Why do we go through so much effort? Meanwhile, we're with men who don't even have matching socks, right? But we go through all this effort,
Absolutely, and it's
all
cute.
Right. And how much is that product go? First of all, you haven't gotten in. We're going to talk about our lawsuit, which is your first attempt at production. Right. My question to you is: are you in production elsewhere, or you're waiting for the resolution?
I am currently working on that now.
Okay.
So yes.
All right. And what's it going to be called?
The Samurai Wrap.
Say it again, Samurai Wrap.
The Samurai Wrap.
All right. Now, you hire the defendant's company. You are the daughter of the gentleman, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So he's your father.
Yes.
He raised you.
Yes.
He cured your boo-boos. He paid for your schooling, so don't screw this up, okay? Poor thing. The pressure. All right. All right. So you hire them to do your first production. Now, let's talk about the first thing that happens. The first thing that happens is they make a prototype, and they give you the prototype.
Yes.
And you're very happy. Do you happen to have that prototype here?
Yes.
Okay. Can I see it?
Absolutely. So the very first one they made is this red and black one.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna have to. Can you do a demo?
Yes,
do you mind? Okay, because
absolutely.
I'm gonna have to see what on. Oh my goodness.
Okay. So, and the first time I ever did this was 4 years ago. And I was like, no way, this is crazy.
So it looks like leggings almost.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. And so inside is lined with satin, the outside has lace, and then the bow and all that. So
You are a genius. And then there's a little bow in the back. Oh my God, you're a genius. That's amazing. All right, so you can take it off. I want to see what your hair looks like when you take it off. Go ahead and take it off. So that one.
Over now?
Yeah. That's fine. So that one is perfect, right?
Yes, perfect.
You love it. Everybody's happy. You say, you're my people, and you hire them to do the first production.
Absolutely.
You bring them how many yards of fabric?
I brought them 155 yards and another 128 yards.
Got it.
Yes.
And then how was that one done? Did you give them a pattern?
I did. I gave them enough fabric, so I gave them the exact amount of...
The original one, it was done pursuant to a pattern.
Yes.
Who made the pattern? You?
No, my seamstress, yes,
Okay.
of 4 years.
So does anyone have the original pattern?
I do.
Okay, may I see the original pattern?
Absolutely.
All right. Now, when you decide to go into production, is there a different pattern or is it the same pattern?
The very same one.
Okay. Now, what happens? Something happened in production. Can you explain? Oh, by the way, wait, before we even get there, she wanted a sample before you went into production, right?
Well, she actually put in the order, and
Do you have the order?
Yes,
Can I see
we
it?
do.
So I'm kind of confused because she puts in an order. What is the point of doing the sample if you cut everything already in the order? Like, isn't the idea of a sample for her to approve it?
Well, she already approved the
She
original
approved
sample.
the prototype,
Yes.
but now why? So why is there a sample?
Well, that is the sample. That is the prototype. The prototype is the sample.
Okay, so if the prototype's the sample, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Did you cut the other ones in a different way than you cut the prototype?
We actually cut it. It was actually cut differently because the pattern actually said to cut it with the grain of the fabric, and the grain of the fabric is always parallel to the selvage of the roll.
Okay, but this is the pattern that you're talking about that says to cut it a certain way.
Yes.
Then why did you cut it a different way the first time when you made the prototype?
The very first time, she only brought just enough fabric to make that one little piece. Just enough fabric.
Now,
So we laid
I don't
it.
know much about patterns, so
Yes.
I'm going to ask you what here tells you to cut against the grain or for the grain or
Yes,
whatever.
Of course. So as you can see over here, it says G as in the grain line, and then this would be like the stretch, and this is the place on fold. If you have like tubular fabric, so you put this on the edge of the fabric, and then you cut.
Okay.
So yeah.
Does the pattern have an instruction to cut the way she's saying?
No,
Okay, now you explain to me why not.
absolutely. So on the other side, yep. So this here, this mark that was made in this permanent marker is against the grain. This indication happened, I don't know when, but this was not done by the seamstress. This is his work, this is also his work, and these are instructions.
Well, who wrote that ink?
I don't know. And these little designs too, I don't know.
Did you guys write on it?
No, ma'am. We received
Well,
that
did you ever
pattern
ask
like
the
that.
seamstress if he wrote on it?
Yeah.
What's the deal?
Yeah, so they also had a conversation with Alberto, and he explained what they needed to do. So those arrows...
Before the cut?
Before the cut. Before,
Is that
when
accurate?
this-
No.
Hold on.
No.
It's
Not before the cut.
not before the cut?
It was actually after.
Okay.
No.
So when everything hits the fan?
No.
It was
no.
after.
Okay, go ahead.
So when I came to them, I brought them everything they needed to actually make it. So I wanted to make sure that I can hire them to do the job. So I gave them the fabric, I gave them the pattern, and I also
Are you
had
referring to
them
the prototype now? Or are you referring?
I'm referring to the very, very first
Okay.
ever one.
Did the seamstress speak to them before the prototype?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is that what you meant when you said that they spoke?
Correct.
Did he speak to you?
Well, as a matter of fact, when she brought in the little bit of fabric with the pattern and her prototype that Alberto did, because there's another one, there's a blue one. So the blue one that she brought in, we went off of with that one. So we
I
started
don't know what you're
it.
saying. What's another one, a blue one?
There's another prototype. There's a
Yes.
green, there's the red one that we
But
did, and the
did
one that he made.
Did the seamstress speak to you before you cut the prototype?
He actually spoke to us when they came to pick it up. When
So is
they
the answer to
picked
my
up the-
question no?
No.
Okay, so you never spoke to him until they came to pick
this
what
one
up?
up.
The prototype.
The prototype.
Okay,
And
so
then
when he
at
spoke
that
to you
point-
then, did he tell you how to cut it?
No. At that point.
What did he talk to you about?
All he said, oh, the sample is perfect. It's great. It's good.
Okay.
That's it.
And you know that sample that was approved was cut differently than you ended up cutting this one.
Yes, and now
okay.
if-
And your answer to why is that you're pointing to this
Yes.
ink here.
Yes.
And her answer to you is that's not the seamstress's arrows. The seamstress's arrow is here.
Yes.
And now, where's the seamstress? Is he here?
No,
Are you sure you call him seamstress if it's a boy?
it is a boy. but
No, I know it's a boy. That's why
it should
I'm
be a tailor. Or a guy, it
Taylor,
should be
right?
a
If it's a
tailor.
man,
My
it's
bad.
no, yeah, I know.
It's okay.
All right,
It's
so
okay. It's okay.
so the question is, did he write this or
Right.
didn't he?
Right.
And the further question is, even if he did, if that's what was approved, should it have been cut differently? She says that this arrow. You're saying that she wrote S on that, but then the arrow goes like this, and where's his indication of how you cut? If she wrote that, then or they wrote that,
Yeah.
then tell me where your seamstress shows how to cut. Like,
Right.
where's the G for your seamstress to show
to go against the grain.
Yeah, where is
It was just his arrow. This is what he used to make all of my.
No, I understand,
my
but where's the
prototypes.
direction by the seamstress of how to cut? Like, shouldn't there be an arrow with a G that the seamstress wrote?
Right there.
Where is it?
There is no arrow with the G that he wrote.
So then there was no specification about how to cut it?
That arrow that you see that has that black mark is exactly what.
Without putting the word G.
Correct. He has another initial there, but he was able to.
Where's the
explain
other
to them-
initial?
I don't.
See,
I
but
mean,
that's in the
S.
ink, and it says
Right.
S,
And
like
I feel like-
stretch.
yes, correct.
That's what she's saying, that's
Correct.
not the grain indication, that's a stretch indication.
Right.
So she's saying he wrote that, and so it's, yes, they didn't make it like the prototype, but they want you to share the blame. That's what she's saying. So,
Another
you
thing.
understand? And
I
what's
hear
your
you.
answer to that?
My answer is that Albert spoke with them prior to even making the very first one to allow me to hire them as the company to pursue this product. I knew going into this exactly how long it took for me to find this fabric, how long it took me to get everything. So I was very specific about who it was that I
All
decided
right, so
to
I have
go
a
with.
question, because everybody playing Quien es más macho, she won't leave, the police are called, she's there for 3 hours one day, 4 hours another day. So I want my money, she's a very persistent human. Okay, and then, according to you, he said, I'm gonna refund all your money. And then you wanted it in writing, and then he felt offended. Is that right?
Entonces,
I'll do
cuando
it.
su merced.
I'll do
Okay,
it.
thank
I'll
you.
do it.
Thank you.
Okay, don't worry. Ella le estaba pidiendo que usted le devolviera toda la plata, ¿verdad? ¿Usted estuvo de acuerdo con eso en algún momento? Were you in agreement with returning all of the money at one point?
La discusión con ella
Argument with her
se dirigió específicamente
was directed specifically
con el diseñador,
with
que
the
lamentablemente
designer,
no lo veo acá.
which regrettably is not here today. Okay.
Sí,
Él le
yo-
explicó, Pepe, frena, break. Él le explicó a usted cómo él quería que ustedes lo cortaran. Did he explain to you how he wanted you to cut it?
no,
Okay,
ahí está el problema.
okay. He says no. Ustedes escribieron en esto. Esos son ustedes que escribieron esto. Are you the guys who wrote this?
Doctora, permítame, yo
¿Sí o
hablo
no?
sobre...
¿Sí o no?
No, nada. Yo,
Nada de esto ustedes lo escribieron. He says
Absolutamente.
he didn't write on anything.
Your Honor.
Yeah.
If you actually see the other patterns, so if you see the headband, you also see the same mark on the headband.
Give me
that
all
was
the other
cut right.
patterns.
And then if you see the bow, you also see the same pencil. I mean pen mark.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna get the tailor on the phone.
Yes. Sounds good.
Does he speak English?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, let's get that phone over to Judge Milian.
absolutely.
So I would really like to ask you some questions. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I have in front of me the patterns. On the patterns, there are ink marks and there are also Sharpie marks. I'm gonna send you a picture right now of something, and I wanna know if this is all your handwriting. Here. I'm sending it, and now I am texting it to you.
Yeah, but I can't see you on the phone.
I know, baby. I just texted it to you.
Oh, okay.
So take a look at your phone.
Where do I find the text? That's my problem.
All right, let's hang up, take a look at your text, and then we're going to call you right back. How's that?
All right, okay.
Okay, bye. See, there is ink mark here. So
Yeah.
the suggestion that they wrote that in, I don't think flies.
Yeah.
And according to her, all the bows were wrong from this one, too. Is
Yeah.
that accurate?
Yeah.
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 So the suggestion that this is not his and he doesn't make mistakes is also kind of not flying.
What I asked for, Your Honor, was one. I asked
So let's
for
talk
them
about that,
to
because
do one.
one of the things that she says, and you acknowledge that you were to make a sample. So we would only be out a couple of dollars worth of fabric if that had happened. But instead, you guys cut everything. And what is the point of this? You acknowledge that you were going to make another sample. You acknowledge
Yes.
that the prototype was one thing, and on this batch, you were to make another sample.
Yes.
So what is the point of a sample if not to approve how it was done?
So from that, actually, so the way that it works is like this. We first do the very first sample, prototype. Sample is done.
We're done
good.
with that. I
Yes.
need you to answer my specific question.
I am. So
Okay.
then right after that, the order is placed. Everything is cut because
Why
that one
though? If the
sample,
what is the point of a sample at that point if you're going to cut everything? Because I got an idea. If you cut everything and it's cut wrong, now we have a huge problem, which is
True.
exactly what happened.
What
here.
happened here.
So why wouldn't you just cut the one?
because at that point, once everything is already approved and the pattern is good, everything is good.
Yes, but you
then we
didn't
go
do
ahead
it
and
just like the prototype.
we
You
move
did
to-
it different than the prototype,
we
right?
move to the next
and then you
one.
have these explanations about why you did it different than the prototype.
Which is-
But if you're supposed to do another sample, what is she approving if you've already cut everything? The idea
She's
behind a
approving
sample
this-
is that she has to approve it.
Yes.
Right. So what are you having approved?
So from that is the production sample. The production sample
You
is
can use
the
all
one.
the fancy words you want. I need you to
can.
answer my question.
Yes.
What's the point of a production sample if it's not to approve
The
how you're
sewing
going to
of
do it?
The sewing of it.
The sewing of it. Mm-hmm.
Purely the sewing of it, because at that point everything is cut.
But you cut it different than the prototype.
We cut it according to the pattern.
But you know that you didn't cut it according to the pattern when you did the prototype. And your answer for it is, oh, they brought us a small piece. But you know you didn't cut it according to the pattern.
Yes, yes.
And and did you say to them, hey, I can't cut it according to this pattern?
I did not.
Right.
because-
So you cut it against the pattern. You completely violated the pattern, and they loved it. So why didn't you just do the same thing when you cut everything?
Okay,
Why is your cop out, this time I did it according to instructions? I don't like that.
I will tell you what happened. So when she came in to do the sample, my mom
Which
and dad,
sample?
The very first
The
prototype.
prototype.
The prototype. My mom and dad received that fabric, and they received the sample, and they received everything.
They
and
didn't
then
receive a
cut it.
sample. You're giving a sample.
She brought us a blue sample.
Oh, what, her own? Yes.
So she brought us a sample. She brought us a little piece of fabric, which the pattern was
By the way, the
laid-
blue one, how is it cut? The way she wants it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's like giving you an 11 by 10 and then giving you yards of fabric. So she only brought this little bit of fabric. And then it was placed on
listen,
that.
I don't know how to explain myself here. My questions are far more profound than what you're giving me.
Okay.
I understand what you said. You don't need to keep repeating yourself.
Okay.
She only brought me a little bit of fabric, so that's why I cut it that way. Did you ever say to her, hey, you only brought me a little bit of fabric, so I'm not cutting it the way the plan is?
I did not, because I was not there.
Correct. So now somebody takes it upon themselves to do it differently. And it's a hit. She loves it.
Yes.
So why don't you just do it differently for the mass? Why do you then all of a sudden, I know why, because you have a lot of orders and you have a lot of cases and then somebody just did whatever. But the point of the prototype was for her to approve it. She loved it. She didn't know what you say you did. And then she asked you for a sample. And the sample is all cut differently than the prototype. Mm-hmm. And your answer for why it's not completely your fault is because we were following the pattern.
Yes.
And her answer to that is, but you didn't follow the pattern in the first one, and that's the one I love, and you wrote this in. Now, I'm still waiting. Let's get Albert back on the phone and hear whether Albert says, yes, that's my mark or not. And then we got to decide how much importance to give that, considering everything else, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Hi, Albert. Did you get the text?
Yes, I did. I got it.
Okay, is that G and that arrow your handwriting?
Yes.
Okay, because they're saying, the defense is saying that you are saying in that G to cut it long ways for the grain. Is that true?
The G is for the grain of the fabric. A cross grain means against the stretch. In other words, I put the marker stating that it should be on the stretch. The one that I gave them, the piece left over was cut the right way, and that was the only piece that was left. I figured if they cut it this way, they know what they're doing.
Okay, I got you. I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much. All right, I got to tell you, I think that's where I land on this, is that there's supposed to be a sample, and you can't say, oh, that's just for the sewing part, as though that's the only thing she wanted to sample. Now, the problem, everybody agrees that it's stretching the wrong way and your product will not work as envisioned. You have a counterclaim against her for $2,000 for slander and labor. Tell me about that.
So my dad spent 20 hours cutting the fabric, and then also she put a review on Google for saying that we destroyed $16,000 worth of inventory, and then she goes on BB&B, the Better Business Bureau, and then she says that she's seeking $1,832.49, and then she's suing us in the small claims court for $2,500.
Yeah, I'm going to need to see the proof of your damages, please.
Absolutely.
Can I see, first of all, the receipts for the fabric that?
Sure. That's it. Yes.
All right. And what is the $50 for the seamstress?
The $50 for his time to come down to the manufacturing
Do you have a
company.
receipt for that? That you had to pay him $50 to come down there, or?
Can we call him back?
No.
Okay.
Did you pay him?
I did.
And defamation of character, why?
They are expressing that my review on Google was a slander to them and that that was incorrect.
Okay. How is that defamation of your character? They are
'Cause
defending
they're
themselves
lying.
against your bad review. How is
Yeah.
that defaming your character?
Because they're lying. They're lying and saying
Okay,
that I
on
am.
their counterclaim against you, 0. On your claim against them, I think that you are entitled to all that you, did you pay them anything for their labor or no?
That was refunded.
That was refunded
Yes,
already.
ma'am.
And that was how much?
$1,180.
So what your lawsuit is for the additional things that we've talked about.
Yes, ma'am.
I find that you are entitled to the fabric that we're talking about, because I find that the whole point of a sample is don't do anything that'll ruin the whole batch. That's the point of a sample. I also am not sure that they're right that the pattern was wrong. But in any event, I don't even need to decide that. I'm also going to award you the $50 of the time of the seamstress, not defamation of character. So I'm going to order your fabric back, which is really what you have been asking for from the beginning anyway.
Absolutely.
Plus, you need to know when to stop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm going to order them to pay you back. You win the fabric back because I believe that you were right, and the $50 of the seamstress. $1,314.49. Verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck, folks. And it really does look like a great product.
So the plaintiff does get back the cost of the fabric. She gets a little over $1,300. This is a very interesting case. If you'll stand right there, sir. There you go. Everybody seems so nice. You know, it's a shame it ended up like this.
It is a shame because it is a good product.
It's yeah.
It is
You
a good
agree. Well, I guess it's over between you guys, right?
Yeah, I
For
wish
sure.
her the best, and I do hope that the wrap does, sell well.
Well, good luck. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Have a good one.
What a nice attitude you have. Thank you. Just lost in court, but they wish you the best. You know?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the outcome?
It happened, and I'm glad that the judge did see my side, and God is good, so I'm glad it happened that way.
She loves your product, by the way.
I'm excited.
She thinks you got a hit on your hands. Okay.
Yeah. I can't wait for the world to experience it, man. The samurai wrap is on its way.
Okay. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Harvey?
I got to tell you, Doug, when you do something like this, you should be getting approvals every step of the way. Communicate with the person. It is critical to do that. If you do the job in just blindly, then the other person isn't happy. You could end up in court. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff Cyrus Kashmiri. He says he brought his 18-karat Cuban gold link necklace into the defendant's store to repair a link. And the guy swapped it out with another, cheaper chain and is trying to hoodwink him. That's right. He's running a scam, and he won't be ripped off by the likes of him. He's here in the name of justice, suing for the $1,465 he's owed, and hopes to put a stop to this cheater and to get his store shut down once and for all. This is the defendant, Garbus Derparsigian. He says he's been a reputable jeweler for 25 years and he fixed the plaintiff's chain for him. The next day, the guy calls him hooting and hollering that he switched his chain out for a cheaper one and was trying to rip him off. This accusation is absolutely crazy, and it's damaging his stellar business reputation, and he hopes to clear his good name today in this courtroom. He's accused of yanking a guy's chain.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff claims that when he took his Cuban link gold chain to the defendant for repairs, the guy switched it out for a cheaper piece of jewelry. But the defendant says he's been in the business for 25 years and doesn't go around swapping out gold chains. It's the case of you put the fool in fool's gold.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, so you had what is commonly referred to as a Cuban chain. It's a particular link of gold chain. And what happened to it that you needed it repaired?
A link broke.
How?
Someone
Yanked it off your neck. How? That's the part I want to know. How?
My wife yanked it off my neck.
Oh, she was mad at you for what? All right. So you brought it to him to fix, and it was near closing time.
That's right.
And so you brought it in, and then you asked him to step outside while you fixed it?
Yes.
All right. You tell me about how it goes down. You bring it in, and what happens?
Sure. So I brought it in. He looked at the chain. His eyes lit up. He told me that gold is really high in value right now, or basically gold prices are high. And he told me, he said, "You know this chain is hollow, correct?" And I said, I don't really know. I can't remember if it was solid or not. I didn't have the receipt with me at the time. I said, yeah, whatever. That doesn't matter to me. Just fix the chain. He goes, okay, it's close to closing time. I need you to step outside of my office because it's not secure and I need to fix this or whatever.
So where are you waiting? This is in a mall, right?
It's in a mall.
So are you waiting outside in the mall
So
or outside of his office?
He stepped in. The office has a glass wall.
So you're
you can
waiting
see
in the store?
So no, I'm out. He told me to go outside of the store.
Completely outside of the store in the
Completely
mall.
out of the store.
But you can see because it's all glass while he's working on it.
You can see in, but he went into a back room. So you can see into the business, but you can't see.
So then why in your complaint do you say, but there were glass walls that I could see through, so I said no problem?
Oh, you could see through. You could see into the business, as in the glass walls. You just couldn't see him working.
Well, then it is a problem. So why are you saying in your complaint that it's no problem?
He didn't give me a choice. He told me you have to step outside.
No, that's not why you're saying in your complaint there were glass. Since it was right before closing, he told me I had to wait outside of the store for security reasons. There were glass walls that I could see through, so I said no problem. You never say here that he stepped somewhere else. Did you step somewhere else, or were you fixing it where he could see you in the glass walls? Did you have to go somewhere else, or were you fixing it where he could see you through the glass walls?
Where he could see me
Through the glass wall. All right, so now in any event, according to you, in 10 minutes, he waves you to come back in.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and he waves you from where? What is he doing when he waves you?
I was at the Starbucks across the way. I could see if there's a person in the area, the front area of his place or not. And I was looking because it was over 10 minutes.
So how does he wave you? He's
Just
standing there and
basically
goes
like
like this. From inside the store.
From inside through the glass.
So you go in and what happens?
So I come in, I see my medallion. He shows me the necklace and he shows me my medallion on supposedly my necklace. And I take a look at it and it pretty much looks exactly like my chain with my medallion on there that I just left there. And I took a look at it. I was excited. I was so excited to have the chain back, ma'am, that I basically,
It felt so good and powerful. I felt so good and powerful leaving the mall wearing my chain.
that's right, because basically my chain and my medallion is like my hair to Samson. I need to have my chain on.
That's an interesting. Okay.
I don't know if you ever met a man that has to have a certain chain on, but that's me.
Okay.
So I need to have this chain on, or else I don't feel good about myself.
Okay.
So-
And then what happens?
I put the chain on over my T-shirt in the mall. I'm walking through the mall. It feels a little different, but I didn't. Like I said, I was elated to have the chain back on after 3 weeks of not having it fixed. So I have the chain on, walking through the mall. Feels a little different, but I don't feel
How different?
long. It feels a little bit longer.
Do you go back in and say, "Hey, dude, this isn't my chain"?
No. I didn't realize it wasn't the same chain until I got home.
How do you not realize it's not the same chain until you get home?
Well, you could see, if you look at the pictures, you can see that it's just slightly different.
Show me
And
the pictures that prove that he's pulled a switcheroo on you. Did
No
you
problem.
switch chains?
Not at all.
Okay.
Why would I do that?
Of course he did.
Well, I think his premise is that his was solid and you gave him a hollow.
Uh-huh.
That's
And I
his
also
premise,
have a-
that's why you would do it, because it would weigh more and therefore be more valuable. That's what he's saying.
And I also have a.
Why are you pondering what I just said? Like, why are you looking up like that doesn't make sense? It does make sense, right?
But
I mean, I'm not saying you did it. I'm just saying that's what he's saying you did.
Right. It makes sense the way he's saying, but we don't change chains. We don't give hollow chain versus solid chain because we don't have a back room where we have tons of chains that are
Hanging
similar.
around for just the right person who walks in with just the
Exactly.
right thing where you
Yeah.
can pull a switcheroo.
Exactly.
Your Honor.
What is it you want me to see in these pictures?
So where the placement of the medallion is on my chest,
In this picture.
in both pictures.
Okay, but which is the picture after you pick up the chain?
Oh, I don't have a picture with me with the chain. I have the chain here that he gave
Okay,
me
you want me to compare something, so I'm comparing this to what?
to how this looks on my my
So
neck
put it
now.
on, yeah.
No problem. So you can clearly see, Your Honor, that it's a different chain. This chain is 29 inches. My chain is 26.
Yeah.
So what that means is
I
that
need you to put the chain on.
no problem.
And I also need you to show me a receipt for the original chain that proves that you bought a 26-inch chain and.
Yes, ma'am. I have it right here. So this is the chain that he switched out. Obviously, I don't have the original chain. He has it, or he sold it. So as you can see from the pictures and where this hangs 1.5 inches lower. See, this is a woman's chain. I would never wear a chain that long. This
Then
is
why didn't you notice it right away?
because I didn't
No,
notice.
see, the things you're saying is like, obviously this is a woman's chain. Obviously it doesn't hang in the right place. I would expect you to notice that immediately.
Well, it's an inch and a half difference. And
I don't really see the 1.5 inch difference from these pictures to your neck, but in
Well-
any event, let me see the original receipt.
Sure. I'm sure I can't take my shirt off in here to show you exactly where
I
the
really
placement.
don't want to see where your nipples land. I
Sure.
got it. I know what you're saying. I can,
I
I
got
can
you.
kind of
Sure.
gauge it. I don't need you to take your shirt off.
Okay.
But I am interested in seeing the receipt that you're
No
talking
problem.
about.
This is the
That's a
18
copy of something, right? Where's the
Yes.
original receipt?
This is the receipt printed out from eBay.
Okay, let me see it.
I bought it on eBay. So as you can see, that printout right there shows it's a 26-inch solid gold 18-karat chain. It's not a hollow 29-inch chain.
Can I have the chain?
Yes, ma'am. And I also have an analysis from a jeweler and a
Saying
credit
that,
saying that this chain here is hollow and it is a 29-inch chain versus mine, which is a 26-inch solid gold chain.
so he has a receipt from eBay. I don't know if it's the same chain or not, but he has a receipt from eBay from 2016 that shows that he bought a 25.75 inch 18 karat solid yellow gold flat curb link chain. And so his point is that this one is longer, and that's his evidence that you switched him.
Well, like I said, we don't have chains that are laying down to.
You know, you said that, but I was reminded of a story that Judge Alex once told me. He used to work in the Siebold building in Miami, which is a jewelry exchange kind of center. and he was a teenager, and he was working for his friend's father's diamond store. And so he had to take the diamond upstairs for something, and the something got measured and whatever, and when the diamond came back, the owner who had sent him went up there. I'm going to skip the part about the guns, but went up there because a switcheroo had been done. So the concept that switcheroos don't happen is not acceptable to me. I know it can happen. But the idea that you would have the precise length and the precise weight and pull it on that guy who's 8 feet tall and strong and go, yeah, let's see if you notice this, is a little bit out there, because you would immediately notice it. It wouldn't be the same weight. It wouldn't be the same length. How do you not immediately notice it?
Well, ma'am, let me tell you exactly that. That's why it's such a conundrum, is that a solid gold chain will weigh almost the same weight as that chain, because this chain
Well, then how does your jeweler know it's not solid? What did he do? How does he know? The weight is what lets you know, I thought.
No, here's the thing, is that chain is a 29-inch chain and hollow. Mine is a 26-inch chain.
Yes, you're repeating yourself. My question wasn't that. My question was, well, then how does your jeweler know? The jeweler who you had say that. How does that person know? And how do I know that this is the receipt for this chain? This chain is 29 inches. But if this is literally 3 inches longer, how on God's green earth, if this is the Samson to your strength, how is it that you don't immediately say, hey, this is 3 inches longer? Because that's what one would expect. One would expect you to say.
I didn't have a measuring tape with me.
There's no measuring tape. This is, you want me to see just how obvious it is that this wasn't your chain by putting it on saying, see how much lower it, but you didn't see it. But I'm supposed to see it.
I noticed it as soon as I got home, ma'am.
Why didn't you notice it as soon as you put it on? That's the point where you say, just a second, and you call the police.
I did call the police. I have a police report.
No, later. And that's where your proof problems begin. Why isn't it that you don't say it right then? Have you ever been accused of this before?
Not at all.
How long have you been in business?
I've got reviews here that he's done the same thing to
Can you hold on? How long have you been in business?
At the mall, about 14 years, overall 25, 26 years.
Okay, you wanted to tell me about some reviews. Go ahead.
Yes, I have a review from a person on, it says he's done the same thing to somebody and screwed somebody the same way.
Can I see it?
He broke my watch. He told me to leave it and come back in 10 minutes. When I came back, he came back. He said he's monitoring. Well, now it's $100 to fix it. He does the same scam.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. That's not the same thing. Does that person claim he switched product on him?
What happened was,
or is he just complaining about?
It was worse off after they brought it in.
That's not the same thing. You just said you were going to tell me how he does the same thing. Somebody else accused him of switching product. I find that you're unable to prove your case by a preponderance of the evidence, and I'm ruling in favor of the defendant.
Well, that was interesting. The judge didn't buy your story, Mr. Kashmiri. I'm sorry you couldn't prevail here. What are you thinking?
I think she's wrong, and that's the ruling of the court. So just going to keep my mouth shut and keep moving.
Well, what about the chain? Will you keep wearing the thing now, or you change it? It's too long? You don't like it the way it is?
This chain here is the chain that he switched out, and this is an inferior chain. I will not wear it. This will go somewhere else, or I'll try to recover my money back from it.
Thank you very much. You must sign some documents. No problem. All right, Mr. Parsegian, come on out here. Are you relieved?
I'm okay, I am.
You're very calm.
Yes, I am.
You're taking it easy here.
Of course.
Were you worried about losing the case?
Yes and no, but if I lost it, that means that all these years that I put into this business and one case, I lose my credibility on my own. Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's a good outlook. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, your reputation is still intact.
Thank you.
Okay, you must sign some documents. Harvey?
Okay, Doug. Well, look, when you have a civil case, you have to tip the scale slightly. Remember, on criminal cases, you have to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. In a civil case, all you have to do is this.